You get runoff already from these plots. You can see it. It's flowing in. But what is really interesting, this one starting to collect. They're all starting to run off. This one, the bag worked last night. This is really the only good sample we got out of 9. So there's runoff coming off of these plots already. It's not raining very hard at all. But what I wanted to show is down here. These plots with biochar aren't producing any runoff at all. There's no runoff coming off from this plot. This is number 7. You want to call that 7 from the end over there. 7 and 8 have no runoff coming off of them. All of these other ones have a tremendous amount of runoff coming off. I wanted to show, this bag's been on there since last night. It has 0 runoff coming off of this plot with all of this biochar on it. All the other ones are generating runoff, but not this one. This one's high and dry. Here's another biochar plot. No runoff coming off of this plot at all. One next to it, ponding up down here at the end. There's runoff coming off of this one, runoff coming off of this one, runoff coming off, a lot of runoff coming off of this one. This one has a lot of grass on it, but you can see there's runoff being generated here as well. Runoff of this one. This one has a lot of biochar. I don't see any runoff. A lot of weeds, but there's a little bit of runoff being generated up here, it looks like. Well, surface ponding. Maybe that would be a better way to say it. Surface ponding on this plot. No runoff on this heavy biochar. Yeah, there's some ponding that's occurring. But here where the biochar is the heaviest, it's not running off at all. This is another row. Runoff being generated here. It's just being held up by the board. Heavy grass. A lot of runoff would be coming if the board wasn't in the way. Okay, here's one. Biochar, a lot of grass, no runoff that I can see. Not even ponding on the surface. This one is quite a bit of grass, but it would generate quite a bit of runoff if the board wasn't there to block it. Let's see about this one. Yeah, this one has quite a bit. A lot of grass on this one, but lots of runoff would have occurred if it wasn't stopped. Same thing with this one, except for this one's even worse. Let's come down here. This one has a biochar and water ponded, but it's not building up by the board. as much. Here's a heavy biochar application. Again, no runoff generated here. And this is not a hell of a big rain. Here, this one has very little grass, a lot of biochar, and no runoff. What the heck? I think this is a really interesting finding. One thing for sure, we got to put in smaller plots with some sheet metal borders to collect the runoff. Same thing on this third row. How much water is generated at the bottom of this plot? Trying to run off. Here's one. It's looking better. Although there's a lot of water standing in this plot that you can see below the vegetation. Runoff would have been generated here for sure. Okay, here's another one. No runoff generated in this plot either. Boy, this one.